Hello and good afternoon. We are live on EANM TV. My name is Roy Shep and I've been joined by a lot of people. There has been a lot going on this afternoon. There were the finals for the Sam Gambhir Awards, but let's take a look to see what this competition is all about. So there was an enormous amount at stake today, and the competition was a real cliffhanger type thing because the person who eventually won wasn't the winner earlier on. He was not doing brilliantly well. He's going to tell us more about that in a moment. But this is how it all ended earlier this afternoon. Well, huge congratulations there to Victor Hvingelby, who will be with us in a moment. I'll be talking to you in a second. We've also been joined by Stefano Fanti and James Morigi. They were the moderators for it, and you did a great job, guys. It's really good, and I'm so glad I didn't have to read those questions. And we've also been joined by David Kersting. David, you know what it's like to be in the hot seat because you won last year. So I'm going to ask you a few things in a minute. But we've also been joined, if you could hold that, Andrei Iagaru, who is a jury member, and you're representing Stanford University. Can you explain first and foremost, what's the Stanford University connection?
Well, Sam came to Stanford in 2003 and established the program, the molecular imaging program there. He was already renowned worldwide. The program grew significantly under his leadership. He became chair of radiology at Stanford in 2011. And he's well known throughout the world, not just in the nuclear medicine field, as a fantastic researcher, a great teacher, and overall a wonderful human being. And unfortunately, he passed away in 2020, and we decided that we want to honor his memory. And we found amazing partners in EANM. Stefano was the Congress Chair at that time, who supported this initiative, and in Tilix, who provided financial support.
Excellent. So, how do you feel being part of it? Because it was a very exciting competition this afternoon, actually.
It's outstanding. As I told the audience at the end, it's very heartwarming to see so many people showing up. To see how brave the contestants were. The questions were tough, I think.
Brave or stupid?
Brave, absolutely brave. And quick to push the button, as Victor showed us. It was really outstanding, wonderful experience for me and for everyone from Stanford.
All right, David, let's hear from you next. So what was it like being in the hot seat last year? I mean, it must have been really tense.
Yeah, very, very intense, very tough. You are so nervous in the beginning and somehow get comfortable to it, but it's a really intense experience.
Why did you put yourself through all of that in the first place? That's a serious question, actually. Why would you go into something like this?
Oh, it's just a great opportunity to visit Stanford University with all of the possibilities there, and you just get the chance to do it if you win, and I think that's worth it to take part in the competition.
And what did you get from your time at Stanford? What do you think it contributed to your development and perhaps your career?
It's a super, super nice experience to go abroad and to such an institution as Stanford University, but also the people who are there, Andrei and all the others, are very inspiring, and you learn a lot, and you can only profit from this for your career, research career and clinical career.
Stefano, you've been on stage this afternoon, high energy. I mean, what was it like managing all of this and managing the couple of hundred people that were in the audience as well?
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, first of all, because I would love to have had this opportunity like some, well, I don't know how many years ago when I was a resident or a young fella. But unfortunately, Andrei wasn't there. It was not established. Going out of Italy was very, very difficult. So when I become older in a position, I helped Josh to go to Australia. And now that Andrei established this, it's a unique opportunity. So I'm doing my best to have, the candidates relaxed, enjoying their time, but at the same time giving their best, because that's the goal, giving them the opportunity to express yourself.
All right, Josh, go on. I mean, you handled it extremely well. I mean, you're a real pro when you were doing it. What's it been like during the whole process for you?
Well, first I was very happy that Stefano involved me in the first Gambhir award session, because I think I could relate to these young nuclear medicine physicians in their path to go outside of their comfort zone. I left Italy, as Stefano was saying, and went to Australia, and I ended up staying there. So I really resonated with the candidates on that. And to manage this and be a part of this was very hard, because there's a lot happening, and it's very exciting, but I feel like I have to stay calm, also to transmit that to the candidates, because it's about relaxing and just enjoying themselves. So it's good that we had some coaching at the beginning before the session to have a bit of an icebreaker chat, and I think everything went really well. And everybody performed at the highest
I was thinking
level.
I could have been really naughty and said, so Victor, we've run out of time, but thanks for coming. But Victor, let's have the microphone. So, what has it been like for you? Because I did say earlier on that you weren't ahead from the very beginning. So was this a strategy or what?
No, I just didn't know the answers, or I forgot, and then I sort of came around, I guess. So no strategy.
All right, so what are you most looking forward to in terms of this prize?
Yeah, so I'm very much looking forward to see how things are done at Stanford and see the things that you are able to do and that we can't do here, or that you maybe do differently. And especially when it's, the namesake of this prize was so multifaceted, and he was so great in so many fields, so that's probably what I'm looking forward to, yeah.
What research area?
So my own research area is neuroimaging, but I think the way forward for neuroimaging is reconnecting it with the rest of the body, because I think a lot of neurologists and neuroscientists see the rest of the body as just transportation for their heads. And so that would be one of my goals.
Fantastic. Now, I'm the old guy, so I can say politically incorrect things, but I suspect, with your look and your fashion sense, you might blend in okay in California. You might be staying there a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I might be staying there a while. Well, no, before
You're
this,
working on the accent already.
I was so nervous, but then I met Stefano, and and you said immediately, just show off your tattoos and everything will be fine. And yeah, so that really took the edge off.
Dude. You've got to say dude at the end of everything, apparently. Anyway, in all seriousness, well done. I mean, huge achievement, and you'll, I'm sure, agree with me when it's a massive one. So, very well done. I hope you have a fabulous time there, and thank you to all of you for making it actually such a great show as well. It's a serious message, but great entertainment as well. So thank you very much indeed for all of you. So brilliant. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to meet up with the former Congress Chair, who I talked to yesterday, in fact, and that is Francesco Giammarile. So we're going to hear from Francesco right now, but let's take a look at this first.
Ladies and gentlemen, see you in Düsseldorf, and I declare this Congress closed officially. Thank you.
Francesco Giammarile has joined me today. Francesco, you were Congress Chair in what year? I get confused.
Yes, it was from 2017 to 2019.
So you coming back now in 2023 with none of those responsibilities.
Absolutely.
What's the difference?
It's a great difference. You can believe me.
So can you just talk us through What is it about being a Congress chair? I mean, Valentina has done a
Yes,
great job.
yes.
So what were your responsibilities and how do you pull off a Congress that gets better and better every year?
Absolutely, absolutely. The numbers are increasing every year. It's incredible, despite the COVID, because there was the COVID period that was not easy for any Congress. And I think that Valentina did a great job. She takes one idea that was also from Stefano, because Stefano was between us.
Yeah.
That was to make the highlights at the beginning of the ceremony. That this was a brilliant idea, and I take notes yesterday, and I know exactly where to go to get the best presentation, the best research.
I'm not sure I'd say the best, the most interesting for you, because they're all good.
Of course, you're right.
So you've got to be very careful with those sorts of things.
You're right. But now I can say this also because I'm no more Congress chair, because at that time it was politically absolutely incorrect to say the best.
Yeah.
Now I can judge that. But what I think could be more interesting for me, absolutely. This
I mean, there's another innovation from Stefano, which was the fight.
Absolutely. Yes.
So, what do you think of that as a delegate?
As attendance, I go very with enthusiasm in this contest, because it's not easy to do, but the attention is always high. Of course, there is it's spicy because there is a little bit of competition and it's true that the question have always been chosen in the right way in order to keep the attention of the audience high.
What fascinates me is that there is so much happening within nuclear medicine, and so quickly.
Absolutely.
Yet an event like this does actually take a number of years to create. How do you develop a program when things are moving so fast, when you have to start so soon?
I think that because we look at the work of Valentina just in those 3 days, actually it's not true at all. It's a year, even more, 1.5 years, because first of all, you have to, for the invited speakers, you have to check their availability at least 1.5 years before. So you have to have clear the idea of it. So you have to think before what would be the argument that will be the top arguments nearly 2 years later. However, then there are also political aspects, because we say before, there is no, you should be diplomatic in order not to avoid some arguments that are not top, but still people are doing in their daily practice, and I think it's absolutely fair to give them place to express themselves and to explain what.
So are you saying there's no room for controversy? I mean, controversy is a great
No,
way
there
of
is
getting
a room
people.
of controversy. No, I mean, you have to speak not only on oncology, not only on therapy, but also on kidney, on rare disease that not everybody is interested, but is sciences and is clinical practice that deserves a room also in this.
So it's the balance. Now, as somebody who's attending and you're choosing your own lectures and which ones you go to, what area interests you particularly, and what have you identified as things that are really interesting and exciting?
So we have, I can tell you two answers. The first answer is my heart and the sciences is essentially high-level nuclear medicine with so the PSMA, the therapy, the new PET that is a long field of view PET that is great. But I have to also to say that I'm working in the International Atomic Energy Agency, and we have to look also at the work of low-income countries, because there is room of work there, and they have sometimes very nice papers. So I look also at those papers, and I think that they can do a lot of good work. The example that is not low-income country, of course, of China. China is, however, a country that
it's a developing country and developing at speed.
Absolutely. And when I was chair, China had very fraction of abstract. Now the amount of abstract is exploded. Is exponential, an exponential number if we compare to my time. So China is a very good example. India also is the same. So I look at those work where the economical possibility are not always very high, but where the ideas are there and the work is interesting.
I seem to recall that there was a growing number of abstracts from places like China and India. Yes. However, at that time, many of them were not being selected, mainly because there was a lack of understanding of the process. So yes. How has that changed and improved? Yes. Because it's a very strict selection process.
Absolutely, yes.
So has that improved?
This I don't know, we have to ask Valentina. But the problem is true that we had language barrier first, because not many people, in India no, but in China not many could speak English at that time. Now they have students that are able to be bilingual, absolutely. So this language problem is no more. And the second is, like you said, they didn't get exactly how to express themselves, how to expose their data, and now they have absolutely, they are in line with others. And the selection is even more strength.
Well, it has to be when you have so many abstracts being submitted.
There is oral presentation that are, then there is abstract that are very, very interesting, and we try to put in abstract thanks to the fact that we have electronic presentation of abstracts, so that we are not limited nor in time and in space, because they are in monitors. The fact that this electronic presentation can give the possibility to more than in the past to people to.
It widens the audience. Absolutely. Exactly. So very briefly, then, what are the sorts of sessions that you are most interested in on a professional, personal level?
I will attend the theranostic session. Absolutely, all. And in a few minutes, I have to go there.
Francesco, it's been great meeting up with you. We haven't seen each other for a while because of COVID and everything. Enjoy the rest of the Congress. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and it was a big pleasure also to meet you again.
It's great to meet up with Francesco, and it's quite interesting actually meeting up with people that you haven't seen for a long time, because that's about to happen again, because I've been joined by former EANM President from 2013-2014. Now this is where it gets very interesting for me, because the very first time I met Fred, I actually tried to pronounce his surname, and I asked him then, how did I do in front of 3,500 people, and he went, so here we go. So Fred Verzijlbergen. Fred. We'll stick with Fred. Yeah, you need that. Okay, so that was quite a long time ago now, and it's great to see you now.
Yeah.
How you're a specialist in prostate cancer, and how has that developed in terms of diagnosis and treatment in this relatively short time?
I'm a specialist in nuclear medicine, but prostate cancer became more and more interesting because of PSMA.
Not being good enough?
No. PSMA is a really game changer. We're able to visualize the prostate now and prostate cancer metastases, and we were completely unable to do that in the time that I was the president of the EANM. So when it was invented in Heidelberg, when it came up, it was so successful. And everybody is interested, every department wants PSMA for diagnosis, but now also for treatment. And that is so important for this specialty, because now we have a compound that we can use for treating patients, and that is really new in nuclear medicine. And we can do it for the thyroid, for instance, but this is very, very special and really interesting. And important for the future of nuclear medicine.
I mean, there have been some massive changes. And whenever I've spoken to you actually on things, it's always been about prostate cancer, funnily enough. So that's what's lodged in my brain. But we were chatting earlier on about one of the times that we met. We were at the EU and we did a TV interview at the EU. You were one of the panelists.
Yeah.
And what did the EU think about nuclear medicine?
Throughout the years, they became more and more enthusiastic, because they are also focusing on early diagnosis of cancer, and nuclear medicine has the tools and the pharmaceuticals to diagnose different types of cancer in an early stage,
which makes it far, far less expensive as a potential treatment. Yes.
Yes. You can say that nuclear medicine is not cheap in the sense that one study can be expensive, but you can save a lot of other diagnostic procedures.
So we had a little incident when we were in the EU. Do you remember it? My passport got jammed in the machine, and it was a very tumultuous time for the British people at that time. And because my passport got jammed, they had to send for an engineer who yanked it out. And you just came up with the most wonderful quip. Do you remember what you said?
No.
You said, "Roy breaks it," which I thought was very, very funny at the time. Talking about the EU and how they have been fully engaged, actually, with nuclear medicine for a while. I was chatting to Wim last night, and he's very, very keen to develop the policy side to engage more. What do you think that success in that area would do for the discipline of nuclear medicine?
I think it will have a huge success in the amount of studies, industry involved in developing new radiopharmaceuticals for many types of cancer, and young physicians who want to work in the field of nuclear medicine, but also physicists, radiopharmacists, etc. So it will have a huge impact on the development of this specialty. And even so, sorry.
No.
I think it will become more important that nuclear medicine will also develop as a therapeutic specialist.
That's been the biggest development, really, in the past 5 to 8 years, isn't it?
Up till now, we were diagnostic doctors, and I think we need to specialize in this area, and maybe call ourselves, I'm a therapeutic nuclear physician, something like that. And that will really help. So we can see the patient before the treatment, do the treatment, and then see them thereafter, and then after that send the patient back to the clinician.
But not being as invisible as perhaps you may have been in the past.
Absolutely.
What have you noticed about how the recruitment of people within nuclear medicine is changing, the demographic is changing? Because it's seen as a much more sexy area in medicine today, because it's the medicine of tomorrow, or Star Trek medicine, I think it was described at those years ago. So what have you noticed about that?
Not so much. I think we are somewhat in the beginning of that, and that means that we have to spend a lot of time during the studies of medical students and introduce nuclear medicine as a completely new kind of medical work for them. Talk about molecular imaging and then the things we can do with that, so that more and more young doctors will become interested in specializing in nuclear medicine.
Because isn't that the problem, really, that from a consumer or a patient perspective, they don't necessarily understand a great deal about it. So it's not a topic that is on the forefront of people's minds.
No.
But that is evolving and changing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But a lot more needs to be done. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Now, as we were chatting earlier on, you were saying that you're retired. You're retiring at a time when it's all starting to happen. You must have very mixed feelings about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we discussed, I put on my LinkedIn account the line, I'm semi-retired now. So it means that I want to continue with all that. And I have a few young female PhDs who are working on a PSMA study, and I really like that, and I want to go on with that.
Excellent. So Why are you here then, he says naively?
Because I was invited for the battle.
Oh, okay.
For the battle between the young
the arena.
The arena, yeah.
Which is a great idea. That's a fantastic format. It's a bit of...
I was in the jury, so...
Yeah, no, I saw you. Now, here's an unfair question. I mean, some of those questions were like really, really tough. How many of them would you be able to answer as an expert of many decades?
I expected this question from you, yeah. I have to say that I was not able to answer one of these questions in the beginning, yeah. There were some questions about the technology we used years ago, and these were very, very simple. But most of them were were too difficult for me.
Really? I mean, you've been here for today. What sessions have you attended yourself, and what have you found most interesting?
None, no.
You haven't attended any today?
No. I have so many friends here, so I'm walking from one person to another, shake hands, and memories, etc. Like that.
And that's a wonderful part of the whole process. It's a fantastic community, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I'm retired, so there's no reason to go to teaching courses, etc.
So I've got to ask you, personal question, how much are you enjoying retirement? It's been hard work for many decades for you.
Yeah, but the combination of some days at home and this type of work is really it's something I want. I wanted all the years before.
Brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fred, it's been great to see you. Thank you so much indeed. We're going to hot seat you now. So if you leave the microphone, we've got my final guest who's going to come in and sit there right now. So thank you very much indeed. All the very best. Enjoy your drinks, and no doubt you'll be socializing tonight. So wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Great. Cheers. Thank you, Fred.
Bye.
And we're going to be joined now by Paolo Turco, who's a committee member at the Technologists Committee. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good to meet you. You need that. You need to hold it close to your microphone. Can you tell us what are you actually involved in terms of the committee?
I'm social media member, a representative of the committee.
So what sort of messaging are you sending out, and what sort of engagement are you getting?
Whatever can be useful for the technologists. So everything that connected from the EANM to the technologists, but also the initiative that other societies such like ESMIT does for the technologists. So every stuff's all around the technology committee, EANM, ESMIT, and everything can be useful for our members.
So how good is the engagement? Is it a platform that people who are interested in technology are actually engaging with?
Yes, it is, absolutely. And we would like to bring the technology committee all around, and so we would like to involve more technologists in our initiatives. And so we use social media to spread what we do and to encourage others to come into the committee and do stuffs for the EANM, of course.
You massively disappointed me earlier on, and can I tell you why?
Why?
Because I asked, could I see the guides? And you said, no. Tell us why.
The guide will roll out, everybody bring a copy. So unfortunately, but also luckily, there is no copy left on the desk outside Hall K in the -2 floor where the technology tracks is going on in these days at the Congress. And so I'm happy, even though you are disappointed, I'm really happy.
I mean, that really does say it all, doesn't it? That when people are scrambling for something, that you know that you've got something that's particularly valuable. But all is not lost. If they can't get it in paper form, that old-fashioned technology, they can get it in another form.
Yeah, they can go on the website of the EANM and find out the guidelines, not only the latest one for GE track, but also the latest versions and the other version that we gave in the other years.
All right, Paolo, it's great to meet you. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for inviting me. Thank you so much.
Not at all. My pleasure. Well, that brings us to the end of today's live EANM TV. I'll be back tomorrow morning, bright and early, with lots and lots of guests who will be telling us about what's going on tomorrow and talking about the wider issues of nuclear medicine as well. So we'll be live at 8:30 CEST, live from the reception area and the registration area here at the centre. We'll see you then. Have a great evening this evening, and I hope you do too. So thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye-bye.